Hello, everyone. Dr. Victoria Skirbo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. It's time for tarot scopes, and I'm going to be doing the tarot scopes for the sign of Aries. This is my Aries painting for the month of December 2022. Before we get to that, we'll look at a little astrology. We do have the sun spend most of its time in December in the sign of Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the sign of truth. And so we may see some truth, and not like truth, social truth, but real truth come out. And the thing is, when you're looking at the Aries reading, it's probably the one that's most archetypically like lined up in a way. So this could apply to everybody. You just don't have to have Aries. If you're breathing, this could apply to you. So the sun through Sag, and then it moves into Capricorn. And Capricorn is about responsibility. So holding people responsible. That sounds good. We have Mars, your ruler, still retrograde in Gemini. It's going to be retrograde in Gemini until January 12th. Interestingly enough, January 12th was the same day of the Pluto-Saturn conjunction back in 2020. It's just like a day that just like, I guess it's embedded in my mind as an astrologer. It's like a big day. It was a big day. It's a big day. You lived into that. You got to experience that. It's a long cycle. So what else? Jupiter is going to be in Pisces until the 19th, I believe. The 20th. It moves into Aries on the 20th. So it retrograded back into Pisces. It turned direct last week or the last week of November. Oops. Ambulance. Anyway, yeah. So it's going to be back in Aries. Jupiter in Aries is about like new stuff. So I think that we're going to start to see progress being made on levels. You may see it in the world politically, you may not, but you'll definitely see it in your life if you apply yourself. So sometimes if you want people to be their best, you have to do your best. And it doesn't have to be doing the same thing, right? Or even anything related. So be your best you, and you will attract people being their best use as in use guys from Brooklyn. Sorry. We passed a lot of big tests, everybody, let me tell you. And there are more tests to come. But I really feel as though, well, I hope, honestly. I'm an optimistic person, so I go in that direction anyway. All right, let's see what's up for Aries and the rest of us for December. Oh, I'm using the Illuminated Earth Oracle. There's a mystery afoot, folks. I love this card. This is called Mystery. It's the workings. It's like the things that we don't see, the workings, the inner workings, the geometric workings of the universe, the sacred geometry, the mystery of the universe. Okay, so I could say this, everybody should get their astrology done. There, I said it. It helps you understand that about yourself. Yeah, I mean, you can go on a website and get it in a chart, and you can get one of those simple sort of written ones that you get, you know, with even if you get like a small astrology program for your phone. And sometimes it helps to go deeper and work with somebody who does it, like who lives and breathes the planets, right? To help you understand yourself. The crossing card is childhood, the mystery of childhood, the mystery of perhaps something that happened in your childhood. Maybe it's something you want to remember, or maybe it's something you don't want to remember. But there's something about your childhood that needs to be uncovered. At the root is the earth. The earth. This is being grounded. Being grounded, connected to the earth. There's a giant mushroom here. It looks like a turkey tail. I'm not sure if it is. It's one of the, or a woody ear maybe. But mushrooms are help us to connect. The whole like forest is due to these connections we never see between trees. It's like it's like the internet. Mushrooms are like the internet for nature and how nature is connected. And if you do the mushroom, you can do, I guess, salicylic, the mushrooms that make you go woo. Like, if you're into that, I'm not saying to do that. You could just eat mushrooms. It's got a lot of B vitamins, so it stimulates your mind and your capacity to think, and maybe even remember, or if not remember, how about reimagine? How about reimagine? It's like it happens. It happened, and it's something that happened, and then you have to make your life from that point anyway. So reimagine perhaps something. Yeah, in the past we have anguish, some deep stuff, some really, really deep pain here. Yeah. But it's in the past. It's in the past. I think they say anguish is of the mind. In the sky, we have the meandering path. The in the sky position, to me, always, not always, sometimes it's the general tone of the world, right? Or sometimes it's something that spirit has to say to us. It just depends on whether it feels like it's reflecting something or giving a message. And in this case, it feels like a message. And the message is that the road is long and winding. And there are times when you're on the extremes, and there are times when you're on the center. But the further up you evolve, the more aware you become. The extremes become less extreme, or the length of time in those extremes, or the separation, right? It starts here, and then it gets closer and closer and closer and closer. And so it's as if Spirit is reminding us that we are moving forward, even though sometimes we feel like we're repeating the past. I think the key is, I think we repeat the past all the time, but the question is, when do you realize that that way is not the way to do it and there's a better way, right? It's like slowly things start to illuminate, but it's not happening slow anymore. Everything is really fast. We have a lot of communication. Well, most of like what people are like fighting about is who has the control. Who has the control? But ultimately, no one has the control, really. You get in your flow. You get in your flow. And so what do you want your flow to look like? Do you want to be angry? You want to be happy? You want to be rich? You want to be content? You want to have enough? I mean, one of the things that I find interesting, and I don't have a lot of things. Most of the things I have been given to me as gifts or from family. Most people, a lot of the stuff they have is mostly not all theirs. I mean, if you just picked out the few things, that are yours, you wouldn't have quite so much. But we're shedding that. And we're coming to a realization that I think happiness, well, happiness is a state of mind, but I think it's more than that. It's a state of heart. It's a state of heart. Happiness is a state of heart. Spirit just wants us to know that we're doing okay. That we're doing okay. We're making progress. What is the energy for Aries and all of us in December? Release, 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 release. Let go. Let go of anger. Let go of resentment. I had a reading with somebody who had an incident happen in their life. I think it was a terrible incident. It was not something that was particularly easy to take for anyone. There was a point when I asked her about the incident and the person who she felt was mainly responsible for why things happened. And she hadn't forgiven him yet. And I think in the reality of how things generally happen, this person who she saw as the person to blame was or still hold hold blame takes the responsibility off of the third party. So it's like all those years and a lot of life in between, and that just wasn't let go, and I think it was impeding this person's understanding that she served happiness. You would think that people would open their arms with both arms to happiness, but in order to be happy, you have to let go of resentment. And that's what's being asked to do. We're being asked to let go of resentment. How it's seen from the outside, a problem. There's a problem. An obstacle, a block, and it's heavy. This is an obstacle. This is a heavy rock. I couldn't lift that rock. I might be able to lift it if I had help and like one of those lever things. So it's going to take a lot of lever things. Oh my God. I did take science. I got like a B in like physics. Lever thing. Was it physical science? Anyway, it's going to take people, and it's going to take an ability to like figure out how to deal with the obstacles that are ahead of us. It's just going to take all of us, really. Productivity in the domestic situation, very productive time for you, Aries, at home. I know I'm married to an Aries, and he's been cooking like the most incredible food lately, and making jams and making all that fall stuff that you have to do when you have a garden, but just some exquisite food. And we spend like regular people spend on food. We don't like go to like you know we don't have like a one of those butchers that's like, I was going to say diva butcher, but I know you know what I'm talking about. A boutique, like a boutique butcher, and I'm nothing like that. He's just really good with food. Thank you, God. For me, I love it. A little bit too much sometimes, but it's a real productive time. He's been real productive in that respect, and you'll feel that. You'll feel that, and I think we all will. I think we all will. We want our homes to be our havens, right? And so you do what you have to do to make it your haven. Hopes and fears, reincarnation. Some people are hoping that this is their last time around. I have a few friends like that. They're like, this is definitely the last time I'm coming to Earth. And I'm like, what are you talking about? It's not so bad down here. They're like, I'm done. I'll do their numbers, and they do have 9s in their chart, so they probably are. They're just here to help us. So we fear maybe karma. Did I do something in my previous lifetime that I'm having this life now? Or you hope that that there's that the hope of like you're going through your life and something really nice happens to you, and you don't feel like, well, I don't think I did anything for that, but it comes, right? It's like you did something before, but it a lot depends on your purity of heart, honestly. And the nice thing about Aries is because it's the first sign of the zodiac, it very often has that purity of heart. It's like all heart, really. It's just like all like wonder and that seed needs love. That seed needs love. We have Chiron in Aries right now, guys. We need to love one another. We need to just love people you love, and then love people you don't love. Just send them love. Doesn't matter. You love them. It doesn't matter what they've done. We need to love one another. Okay. Outcome. Potential. This is about the new earth. This is about creating the new earth, folks. There's a lot of problems, but there are a lot of solutions, and we have to support the solutions. We have to support the new, progressive, easier, less, going with the flow. There's so much information now that I guess who has the flow of information has the power, right? And isn't that what Pluto in Aquarius is going to be? Who has the information has the power. So become informed. And you at some point we have to take in what feels true to us, and not always go to the expert or who we see as the expert in the situation, because they don't, sometimes you have to really, really trust your own inner compass. And I think that's what Aries is best at anyway. It's just the level of awareness that they're coming from. If they're coming from a lower level of awareness, they're going to act like a pugilistic Aries. But if they're coming from a higher spiritual place, then they come from that. They're coming from that place. Underneath it all, we have stillness, phenomena, and evolution, folks. We are evolving. We are doing just fine. Could do better. Endeavor to be your best self. That's all. Be you. My husband and I have the saying, you be you and I'll be me. And it's worked so far. Even though sometimes you want to strangle you. Not really. Never, actually never. I just wanted to make a funny because we should end this year with a funny. Angelina, my mother, who actually just got positive for COVID, but she's good. She doesn't have fever. She just has, I guess, a runny nose. 102 years old. Hopefully she'll be okay. Thank you. I know you guys are going to be sending prayers and all that, so thank you ahead of time. But she says if you're not laughing, you're crying. So laugh. So I told her funny, so we'd all laugh. Have yourself a wonderful month, a wonderful holiday season. Be good to yourself. Trust your gut. Stay pure of heart. Do your best with the frustrations of Mars moving retrograde. It's hard. It's hard. Unless you have a Mars retrograde in your natal chart. And then maybe you're actually more, actually my husband, Michael, who the Aries, has a Mars retrograde in his chart. And he has been so active in this Mars retrograde period and gotten so much done that, you know, and so does Zelensky has a Mars retrograde in his chart. And I think he seems to be doing good while Mars has been retrograde. So very interesting, very interesting. All right, guys, have a wonderful month. I'll see you at the end of this one to do something special for 2023. Until then, I'll see you in the morning. And I am going to be on with Marianne in a couple of days. So keep your eyes peeled. It's going to be on her channel, Revealing Light Tarot. So I'm looking forward to it. It's always fun to spend time with Marianne. I feel like a world traveler. All right, guys, take care, everyone. Namaste.